Thelonious Chunk here, and today we have the most recent Kickstarter project from Unihertz, the TickTock. This 5G rugged phone, as well as these Unibuds, can also be purchased from their website via the link in the description for about $3.99 and $39.99 respectively. Unihertz continue to entice me with their phone releases, whether it be some BlackBerry clones or trying to make the world's tiniest Android handset. This phone reminds me of feature phone offerings before smartphones took over as the must-have device. Along with being rugged, this phone also touts a second screen on the back with preloaded watch faces and a compass. Along with the subscreen, this device carries a 48 megapixel main sensor and an 8 megapixel front camera. It only ships in black with 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigabytes of UFS 2.1 storage with a huge non-removable 6,000 mAh battery capable of 30 watt fast charging. No wireless charging here, but hey. In the box, we have a pre-installed screen protector, pre-applied case on the phone itself, an additional screen protector, USB Type-C cable, charging brick, and a USB Type-C to 3.5mm audio adapter. The skin on the device is close to stock Android 11 and isn't too bad for daily use. The first thing I noticed when picking up this phone was the actual size of it. Unihertz has created another absolute unit with a lot of heft. Also, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Flat screens are where it's at. While the 6.5-inch center punch hole screen is only full HD, it's definitely serviceable. The brightness isn't the best outdoors, and the screen to body ratio isn't going to turn heads. But you have plenty of real estate for media and the like. At the top, we have an IR blaster for all of your universal remote needs, the USB-C port at the bottom, volume rocker, and power button with fingerprint scanner on the right, 2 programmable buttons and the SIM card tray on the left, and along with the second display, we have the backfiring speaker. The fingerprint scanner is pretty nice and responsive, but it's not as accurate as I'd like it to be. It's not bad, but not the best for team power button fingerprint scanner. Being excited to check out this MediaTek Dimensity 700 processor, I began to put the phone through its normal daily paces. This includes the 5G connection, which on T-Mobile is fairly consistent, and means you should have no issues with the service. This also means any app like Jurassic World Alive can be downloaded without the Wi-Fi 5 that's in tow. For a non-gaming phone, it does decent things with Game Pass and Stadia. However, due to the phone's button setup and size, using a phone clip for a controller is possible but not recommended. You won't be playing for hours, but if there's a brief itch, this cat can scratch it. Next, we have the cameras. The rear 48 megapixel main sensor doesn't do too bad for social media and such. However, the 8 megapixel camera does leave room for improvement. Trying to drain the 6,000 mAh battery, even with heavy media usage, was one heck of a task, even with my Bluetooth always on. The disappointment lay in the charging, as waiting for this phone to reach 100% took about 120 minutes. Don't worry though, you'll be watching YouTube and other streaming apps for hours afterwards with no issues. And the speaker on the back, while the only one, it still gets pretty loud without being tinny. Oh, and phone calls. Can't forget those. Call quality, I'm told, is not too bad over the 5G. And finally, the earbuds. Over the last few years, true wireless earbuds have gotten better and cheaper. While I don't quite like this type of shape in my ear, I cannot deny how decent the sound is. Battery life is also good, as stated, with about 5 hours per charge via USB Type-C port on the case, and each bud can be used independently. At the end of the day, for $40, they do a perfectly cromulent job. Now, the big question. Who is this phone for? Is it the person who needs all the most recent security patches? Is it for the person who wants the best performance and media consumption? Is it for the clumsy gamer? The answer to all of those is a surprising no. This device is for people who want something different. For those who purchase their phones only to buy an outlandish case so they can stand out. This may sound like a niche group of folk. However, Unihertz continues to do well on Kickstarter with these devices that seemingly only a few want. And with LG gone, I'm glad someone is still making feature phones that add to the market. With that said, I've been Thelonious Chunk, and I'll be back with more snacks.